Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Fiercely Vulnerable. Everyone knows Rachel by now, hopefully.
Maybe.
Welcome back. How are you?
What if they don't know me and you just made them feel bad because they should maybe know me because I've been on the show before. So now they're feeling bad because they don't know me.
Crap. Well, I screwed that up.
Well,
it is what it is.
It's okay. We can move forward. It's all good.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. The weather's awesome here in Iowa. I don't know what it's like in Colorado, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful outside today, sunny for the next, I think, 4 or 5 days.
Yep. It's amazing how much the weather plays a role on people's moods. You know, It's sunny. It's just like everybody's in a good mood.
We're still getting those damn chemtrails, though.
Yeah, I've been hearing weird things about those. Like they might actually be good because they're protecting us from certain things.
I know.
I need to look into that more because that was very interesting. I was always under the impression that they were bad.
Right.
And then RFK Jr. said something. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to shut that off.
Yeah.
Newbie with the Mac, everyone.
It's okay. It's okay.
Everyone's going to know when I get a text message, and you'll get a glimpse into my life of how many texts I get every day.
I thought you were baking a turkey.
Well, that would actually be good. And I have something, something to show for the dings, but no, most of them are just funny memes and whatever else that people send me. So
earlier we were chatting about your computer issues.
Yeah, I had some major computer issues. So now I'm on my Mac, which I didn't like. I actually found a salesman who didn't sell me a computer. He's like, just use your Mac. I'm like, but I don't like my Mac. It's just, it doesn't have much space. I think it only has like 252 gigabytes of space. So it always runs out. He's like, well, then use an external hard drive. I'm like, I have one. I just don't want to learn how to do it. So I had to learn a whole lot of stuff in the last 2 weeks. I think I've learned more in the last 2 weeks than I have in like 2 years. So in terms of like technological stuff and how to be techie.
It's always good to get outside the box.
It is. You're growing. If you're not growing, then what's the point? You got to keep learning. So I've learned a lot about websites. Sales tax, you got to apply to be able to collect sales tax. Then you have to then you have to like send it out. It's ridiculous. I don't know why we do sales tax, but that's for a whole other discussion.
Well, getting outside of your comfort zone is good for you. It kind of reminded me of something. I was here. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. So everybody knows by now how much I like David Goggins and how much he has helped me through the roughest parts of my life. So when you do something you hate, but you do it anyways, you're out of your comfort zone, right? It's called growing the MCC. Are you familiar with this?
No, I know who David Goggins is. He's a psycho, like running, gets up at 6 a.m. and goes crazy and runs like 60 miles. I mean, he's a freak of nature.
Are you painting me into a box again?
Do you get up at 6 and run 50 miles for fun?
I would get up at 5 in the morning before the sun came up. Yeah, at one point in my life, and would hike up Green Mountain. Yeah.
Well, there's just two different kinds.
Wearing a 40-pound heavy vest just because I had to. But yeah, it's called the MCC. It's the anterior mid-cingulate cortex.
Is that some part of your brain?
Yes. So when you do something you hate, like today, I took a cold shower. I will never tell you I like doing that, ever.
I don't know anybody who would like to freeze their tush off in a cold shower.
So it's the central brain region that acts as a hub for the integrating information from multiple brain systems. It's involved in higher level functions like decision-making, attention, and emotion. Okay?
That makes sense.
Yeah. But it's when you challenge yourself and you do something you hate. Like you don't do something you love.
I like to picture David Goggins if I'm running up a hill or something, and it's like the very last part of my run I ran this morning. It's like a hill, and it's the worst hill ever. And, you just picture David Goggins in your head yelling, "You suck. Come on, get
Right?
it."
Rachel, you shared with me, we were coached the same. It's not like that's new to you.
No, it's not. It's yeah, but gives me a little PTSD from college basketball. But that's not the worst. Getting yelled at's not the worst. Okay.
Right,
I can
right.
handle getting yelled at. It's the mind games that get you. The
Mm-hmm.
mind games.
It's challenging.
It's not though. Now I'm glad that I had college basketball because the mind games make me laugh now because it doesn't work on me because I've already been through it. So it's like,
Exactly.
I know what you're doing. It's not going to work.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
It actually makes me laugh.
Yeah,
So
you just kind of sit back and you're like,
Yeah, it's like the coach has said, it's when I stop yelling at you that you should be worried.
That's 100% true. They know if they don't like you.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
never experienced that per se, but I
Well,
have
everybody likes
witnessed.
Ryan.
But I have witnessed other people that have been messed with. That they weren't seen in that light. They were not liked.
I was pretty lucky that way too. I didn't have very many enemies
I know,
on
right?
teams or anything like that. You grow up with the other teams too in high school. You get to know their names and then you become friends with them after high school. And
Yeah,
they were your biggest rival. Yeah.
you're like, who I am? Of course. You're like, oh, well, I don't have a Sharpie.
No.
You have an exciting new project going on. You want to talk about it?
I do. This has been in the works for a long time. Since last year, actually. I think it was last April that I secured the trademark. So I've been sitting on this for a long time thinking, do I want to do this or not? So last May 1st, actually, was the day I went to Miami and I announced at the Charlie Ward. He had like not a reawaken. It was a Truth Seekers tour, Truth Seekers conference is what it was called. And there were over 40 speakers there. It was really fun. Got to meet a lot of cool people just from all over the U.S. I just love talking to regular, normal people at these because if they're going to that event that they see things the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
They can see the truth, which is awesome. So it's just so rejuvenating to go. We've talked about this. You go to an event and you just you just get some energy back, some wind in your sails. So I went down there and I took my little project with me and I announced that I'm starting a brand new children's magazine. It's called Red, White, Blue. Here's a copy of it. It's very pretty.
That's awesome.
And it officially releases on May 29th, which is JFK's birthday. Just kind of a nod to him and all that he did for our country and for the world, really, what he was trying to do. But it's going to be awesome because I have some awesome writers. So this first issue was mostly me writing it. I had a couple people help me, a couple people that worked with me in the past that helped me proof it. And they just did it out of the goodness of their heart. I'm like, I don't have a budget right now to pay you yet, but would you just look at it? And they were awesome enough to look at it for me. Mary and Donna, thank you.
I was going to say, I think I know who they are.
Probably no. Yeah.
They.
They're salt of the earth people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people in the world that you go through something horrible and then that you can trust them. And those two have been just rocks during a really, really shaky, really like shook my my faith in many, many ways, because there's a lot of people who say one thing and do another. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard when you thought those people were good people and then they turn out to be not what you thought they were. So it's really important to find solid people, and those two have been solid for me. So I'm just going to give them the biggest shout out ever. Mary and Donna, you guys are awesome. So thank you. But this magazine is awesome because I've got writers that know the truth about history. So one of them, his name is Eric, and he wrote in the past for me. But he's like, what do you need? What kind of content do you need? I'm like, well, you, sir, he does a lot of research about true history stuff, and he'll send me random things that I'm like, I had no clue that was even a thing. So he's going to be kind of my helper in terms of making sure that what's in this magazine is the truth and not more, oh, Buzz Aldrin went to the moon. Let's put him on the cover. Why would we do that? That's like perpetuating the lies that we have been told in the past. That's not helping the next generation. That is just continuing on what we're part of right now. In this magazine alone, I started with, sorry if I'm talking too much, I'm just rambling, but
no, you're not. I think this is a wonderful project and people need to know about it. It's fantastic for our youth. I mean, I remember the highlights magazines, right?
Yeah.
Dentist office. That's where I was introduced to them. So
yeah, that's what I would love to see that there, because this is really important for me. The CIA and American media, I talked about this in my introduction speech of the magazine. What would happen if the government had control over our news media? Because I'm convinced the number one problem, I mean, that could solve lots of problems, is the news. If we had true, unbiased news, adults, then we could actually make educated decisions.
Done.
But I know, I just got a text.
Sorry, go ahead.
But the children, if they don't know that, they're going to grow up thinking like, oh, well, the government would never do anything wrong. They would never. I'm going to actually see if I can turn my airplane mode on. We'll see if that does anything on my phone. I'm getting smarter as we go. But how to spot fake news. And then at the end, it talks about the CIA and American media.
That's a skill.
And it says this at the very end: what could happen if a country's own government was in charge of the news? Perhaps this was one of the reasons why JFK famously said he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the winds. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of stuff that is going to be in here. Beyond that, I have a master's degree in exercise physiology, and my thesis was on childhood obesity. So I'm going to be writing workouts for children with little tracking sheets that they can do each month. I used to work in corporate wellness. So it's just like all these little skills and all these little things that I've learned my entire life has led to this, including being a mother, which is the most important role I've ever had in life. So it's just amazing that I can use all of those skills, all the education, every piece of all of it to put this together. And I've already reached out to Bobby Kennedy's team about writing in the magazine, and they did not say no. They just said, we're quite busy right now.
That is key.
We're quite busy right now. Reach out to us in a couple months.
Didn't say yes, but didn't say no.
I think it's a yes. It's just a not right now.
Well, of course it is.
And I will be reaching out to other people too, but those are going to be surprises in the future.
Good. Are you going to do anything in there like you're going to branch out? Like, I mean, some of the topics, will you get into like crossword puzzles and things like that as well?
Yeah, there's puzzles in here. One of the things I did was vocabulary. So at the very beginning, there's vocab words, and then you'll be asked to find those throughout the magazine in different articles. So the kids can learn a word, like for instance, asset is one of them, something or someone valuable that helps you. And then there's an example of it. And then it says what page was asset found on. So the kids have to look through the magazine and find it. This was a little puzzle I wrote, The Mystery of the Missing Bike. And I asked my children to read it and see if they could solve the mystery. And my daughter actually got it, who is younger than my son. And he was kind of mad that she got it and he didn't. But it was interesting. And my son's puppy is named Margaret. So I used Margaret. And my daughter's is Pink. So I used puppy Pink. So I try to take stuff that they know and that they appreciate and put it in here so that they're like, hey, you used my puppy's name in there. But this summer I did tell them that once school's out, that I'm going to be expecting them to help out, to give me more ideas. And like, they want to learn the system that I use. They want to learn how to do it so they can create their own designs too. They're already doing it. So my daughter likes to design t-shirts. She designed a t-shirt on my website called Nobody is Perfect.
Uh,
And somebody just bought it this week. Somebody bought one of her shirts, and I haven't even told her yet because I wasn't with her when it happened. But I was like, oh my gosh, someone just bought Renzie's shirt. This is awesome.
I think what you're doing is amazing, and it is powerful. It's impactful. It is what it's going to help youth. It's going to reshape the world, right? What did Ronald Reagan say? Right?
I was literally thinking of that quote as I was getting ready for this show, that it doesn't, we don't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. We have to fight for it, protect it, and then make sure we educate them. How is it still doing it when my phone is on airplane mode? Anyway, yeah, all of those things. It's really important.
It's the wave of consciousness. That's what I feel with multiple people. You do as well, in the conversations with the folks that God brought us all together. It's amazing. It really is. Like when you really sit back and you think about what you said a minute ago about everything that you've been through to get you to this point, to make this magazine, and then really understand it and know it in real time. I mean, Rachel, are you kidding me? Like at times I get very emotional about it. I mean,
it is
because it's a gift.
It is a gift, but it doesn't seem like a gift in the moment. When you're going through the really shitty times, it's like, wow, what was the purpose of all of this, God? Why did you why? I'm not saying God put us through it. I'm saying life tests us. God's there to help us through it. But it's like, what's the point of all of this? What's the purpose? Right. And then once you get to that point where you realize what the purpose was, then you can really be thankful for even the worst times. I mean, it's important.
Everyone has heard me talk about it, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks over the weekend. Just where we are in life, what's happening currently, the world we're living in, and then going through some of the things personally that I've went through. Being unemployed for a year, but then seeing the flip side, the positive of it all. I was able to do things and be involved in a way that I normally would never have been otherwise with my daughter.
Yeah.
And then changed my life and my perspective on life of what's important. Minimalism, I learned that from our friend Enoch. I thought about it all. And it's like, when you're in a situation, a different perspective of going through life, you grow from it.
Yeah.
And if you're paying attention.
Right.
There people as well as I do who you wish they could learn from it, but they're not, and it, but and you feel for them at times, but the personal growth for myself has been just exponential. It's amazing. I look back on the last year of my life, who I've met, who has come into my life that you're one of them. I wouldn't know for any reason. It is amazing how God brings people together.
Yeah. And I love, when I gave my speech, I showed the Yuri Bezmenov speech. I love that clip on YouTube where he talks about ideological subversion and how it takes 15 to 20 years. Why that many years? Because that's how much time it takes to get one generation of Americans through school, pumping through their heads the ideology of the enemy, Marxist, Leninist garbage, without being challenged by the basic ideals of Americanism, of American patriotism. That's almost verbatim what he says. So keeping that in mind, when parents wake up, because more parents will wake up, it's inevitable. They're going to start seeing things. They're going to be looking for something like, well, what do I get my kid now? I can't buy him this anymore. I can't buy him that. I'm going to cancel that subscription. Now what? And this is something they can come to where we are going to be trying our best in every essence of the word to make sure that the truth is told in this magazine. We will not just go along with perpetual lies that have been told in the past. So there's just so much amazing content from true patriots that know the truth that will put this in this magazine. I just want to be part of your project because I just love what you're doing. That's how you know that you have found the people that you want part of your project, because they're not about money. And I'm not about money. Like, I want to be successful. I want this to be successful. I want to turn this into a career, but that is not the number one focus of this at all.
Right.
So to find other like-minded people like that are like, yeah, I want to do the right thing. I want this to be the truth. I want this to be based in truth. Perfect. That's when I really feel God's hand in this. Not to mention the time that I was driving home and I was like, what would I even name it? And it was just boom, right in my head.
Are you kidding me?
God, like, phew.
It's absolutely perfect.
Oh my gosh. And I almost saw the logo too. I love the logo because here's why. It's red, white, blue, and it goes from the bottom to the top. The red is the blood that all of the soldiers, the brave, men and women in uniform, had to sacrifice to get to a period of purity where a country could become, go through a period of growth and just purity, I guess. And then we get up to blue, which is like, blue means you're in the clear, like things are going to be good. So the future is looking blue. Not blue as in Democrat. I mean, blue as in like blue skies.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I love how it's bottom to top, how we're always going up. We're always growing. So yeah, they'll always be like that. They'll always be a vertical, which is different too. That's just something like you don't see on magazines as a vertical.
It's unique
title. Yeah, it stands out. It stands out. So,
and also your pen name, right? The initials.
RWB.
I love it. Only God could have given you that.
That's right.
It's the truth.
It is. It is. And I'm like, this idea is just so too good not to put out there. You got to do it.
It's absolutely brilliant. And